Welcome to the live stream. We are up and running. I am your Heavenly Father. We're just going to take a look at some of the numbers, and we're going to call it. Biden wins this thing. Harris is the vice president. It's official because I call it. The television stations won't call it. Why? Because of a whole bunch of provisional ballots in Pennsylvania. So, okay. We're going to watch some Kernack. We're going to get some numbers. We're going to put this all together. It doesn't matter. None of those numbers matter. And here's why. Nobody else will call this thing. But I will call it. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. Welcome. Hey, Chuck. Good to see you. If you'd like to get in the chat room, the best place to do it is youtube.com/KevinlyFather. If you'd like to help make me do these things and try and find some sanity in this mess, you can go to KevinlyFather.com and just give me money. You can give me money by doing it right here. PayPal.me/KevinlyDad, Venmo, Carolina. Welcome, producer Joanna, for being first. Good job. I don't know if the one on the Twitters is working yet. Oh, it looks like it is. Okay, good. Let's see what Kernack has to say here, because Maricopa County is going to come in with some new numbers apparently at about 6 p.m.
This morning, they had a big update from Maricopa. Trump missed it significantly. And I don't want to get too technical or weedsy here, but the basic suggestion here is the reason he missed it so much this morning is they've moved to a different sort of category of ballot here as they near the finish line, and it's less favorable to Trump, and that seems very possible. And if he comes in well under 60% again with this update, I think that will go from possible to probable, and at that point, the idea of Trump catching Biden in Arizona will go to improbable. So that's why this is such a the number to look for here
you can
is
finally
60%. Is Trump getting 60 or more when we get this update?
That is so well explained. And again, not just the number is he getting it, but also what's he if he's above or below it, right? What's he missing by? Because that's both in terms of the numbers, and it's also in terms of what it might indicate about the outstanding ballots.
That's right, Chris. And I mean, again, in Arizona, it's a big state here. This is like 2/3 of it right here in Maricopa County. And I don't want to just give you. I know you're staying on Arizona.
I'm sorry, but it's 61%, not 2/3.
Pennsylvania.
Kernack.
And we got more votes that just came in, and Joe Biden's lead has now pushed above 20,000.
Oh, wow.
So it's now 21,705. We got more votes from Delaware County, just outside Philadelphia. It's one of these counties. We've gotten several updates from them today. And again, just what we saw here, this is going to continue, I think, through the night. 3,000 votes here, 2,000 votes there, maybe occasionally a big one from Philadelphia or from Allegheny County where Pittsburgh is. But Biden's lead now has crossed 20,000 in Pennsylvania.
I got to say to the people of Pennsylvania, we've all become experts on Pennsylvania counties over the last couple of days. And the one thing that's disappointing to me the most is the fact that I can imagine this happened 275 years ago. Hey, what we should call the county right there? Well, what's the county right beside? It's by Delaware. Yeah, let's call it Delaware County. That's not going to ever get confusing. Ever. It's like when the people came up with Washington State. So, where'd you guys come from originally? Washington. Oh, what do you want to call this state over on the far side of the country? Let's call it Washington. But we already have this other, so, having lived in Washington State for about 1,000 years, it's every time you meet someone from out there. Hey, where are you from? Oh, I just live up in Washington there. Oh, hey, how about them Redskins, huh? Yeah, I was really, really glad when the Seahawks beat them. Washington State. Come on, Washington State. #1 state. If not for the whole, we named ourselves after Washington, D.C. Dumb. No, could have been Jefferson. Could have been Jefferson State. Could have been Monroe State. Could have been... Dumb. Hey, Allison.
All right, Steve Kornacki, thank you
Let's catch up to real time here because the results are supposed to be coming in. We might even have a press conference.
Not been a single...
Yep, go ahead.
You would expect as a White House reporter to maybe have a
White House reporter. Okay, how about what's going on CNN? Who's in Arizona? Show me.
Can help you finish paying off
first
your
mortgage payoffs. Tucker. Check out Tucker. Tucker said something hilarious earlier.
On his behalf. So why did Biden go with that strategy? Roger Kimball is with American Greatness, wrote a really smart piece, one of many.
Because he didn't go with that strategy. His supposition here is that Biden stayed in his basement the entire time.
Written about this today. We're happy to have him on tonight. Roger Kimball, great to see you. So tell us about the basement strategy. What did it amount to, do you think?
Yeah. Hey, guy with the bow tie in 2020. Tell us about the basement strategy.
Well,
Tucker, maybe this guy's Tucker's mentor. Because remember, Tucker Carlson used to wear a bow tie all the time. Back when he was a young upstart on the Fox network.
well, it wasn't a strategy propagated by Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a kind of cipher or empty bladder into which has been injected the somnolent but dangerous agenda of wokeness.
I know some words, says the man with the bow tie. Joe Biden has been doing this empty vessel act for 47 years. So, I don't know. AOC wasn't born when he first got to Washington to represent his state, which is right by the county of Delaware.
And identity.
All right, I'm already done with this. They always choose the best pictures of Biden on Fox. You ever notice that? Let's go find some numbers or some people talking that actually know stuff and don't wear bow ties in 2020.
It's difficult for him to declare victory completely
There we go.
when that has not been called. But at the same time, I think he has to begin to move the country towards a new chapter where he is preparing to govern.
Hey, does anybody want to see the burn on my arm? This is not really anything to do with the election, but just in case someone does. If someone does, I'll show them the burn on my arm because it's pretty atrocious. I think it's 3rd degree. I don't know. But if anybody wants to see it, I'll show you. But I'll tell everybody, close your eyes, and then I'll say, okay, open your eyes, and then I'll show you after you open your eyes. It's pretty
I think
gross.
he'll be talking about bringing the country together and moving past this moment we're in and towards the moment.
Does Rachel Maddow ever show you her burns? No, she does not. She just gives them.
Where he's going to assume office on January 20th. Because to build on what you guys were just talking about, my recollection of the 2008 campaign that I was on for Obama, the next day we began making plans to govern. Within a week, I was in an office in Washington for the transition. Usually there are teams from the transition that go in and are meeting with counterparts.
Okay, a couple of people want to see my burn, and I am to please. So I'll warn you before I actually show you the burn. I'll tell you the story. So Kevin Lee's daughter had to go be on a set. She's making a TV show, and they said, wear like these bright colors or whatever. And I said, okay, great. Oh no, Rachel's in quarantine tonight? Ah, here we go again. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, praying for Rachel. Not that she accepts prayers. So Kevin Lee's daughter was going to be on a TV show, and she wanted her clothes ironed or she unwrinkled or whatever. And I was like, well, let's just use the steamer. And she's like, show me how. And I was like, you steam them. You see. So anyhow, I was steaming this one shirt that was sort of this rayon material that was bright pink and yellow and stupid. And speaking of stupid, then sometimes when you use the steamer and you're pressing it right up against, because that material, the rayon material, you got to press like right against the material, some of that material will come off, and then you go to the next shirt, which was bright yellow, and suddenly you have all these pink streaks down because the material stays on the steamer, which I don't have to show you. So then what I did was I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, so I was like, oh, you usually use a piece of material to wipe off the steamer, so I was like, oh, I'll just wipe off the steamer on my arm. Well, it turns out that the steam coming out of a steamer goes right through the clothing. That's kind of how it works. And it's hot. A steamer gets pretty hot. That's the second thing that I knew but wasn't thinking at the time. So I'll show you my burn now. Oh, thank you. There we go. Here is the steamer. This is what a steamer looks like. And now imagine, if you will, what's coming out of this end is steam. This, and this is true, turns out to be boiling water. That's how you make steam, for those of you in the crowd who don't know anything about science, like myself. So the boiling water comes out here in the form of steam, shape of an owie, and so I wiped it on my sleeve. And I'll show you what that does. Close your eyes if you don't want to see something gross. It's not that gross. There it is right there. So right there, there's the burn. Sick burn, dude. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Kevin Lee's daughter's looking at it right now, too. Okay, it's done. That's the end of the burn. Todd coming in with the sick burn. Great lights. Great likes. Great likes think of mind, Todd. Great minds think alike, Todd. And so do we. What's up?
Just wanted to come look at your burn.
Just wanted to come look at my burn.
You're blaming me for.
That's a burn. All right. Let's get back to some numbers. Hopefully we got stuff coming in here. So Rachel, is this serious? Rachel Maddow is in quarantine right now?
What's going on?
At the White House.
What's going on? We're going to announce the numbers from
With
Phoenix.
Rachel.
Are you watching?
With Rachel.
Rachel, Marcy says that Rachel Maddow's in quarantine. I haven't. Well, I imagine she was exposed to somebody who has been diagnosed with COVID.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. Maybe she burned herself with a steamer. I have no
What
idea.
a hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
What a garbage person.
Yeah, first she doesn't have the virus, then she does have the virus. Come on. Okay, thank you. Bye.
And
By the way, this burn not covered by Obamacare. Actually, it probably is. I'm not going to go to the doctor. How did it happen? Antifa. I live in the suburbs, and after the election night, Antifa, and they heated up the tuna cans, and they were throwing, and I was protecting. I'll save, and it was a baby, and I'll hide it. I showed it, but from a distance. So I apologize for not warning you in advance on that.
the departments and agencies of
Let's go live.
is
Come
to
on.
begin to move the country forward.
So,
begin to
Joe
bring
Biden's
people
gonna speak
together,
tonight.
Begin to leave behind the toxicity of this election.
I have some Aquaphor that I'm using on it. So it's coming along nicely. It's coming along. But thank you, everyone.
And frankly, to make a turn towards governing and solving the nation's problems, whether it's COVID or the economy.
I wonder if we see, Shannon, when you talk about staffers even thinking in very near term about what they're gonna do with their careers, which
Man, if only those unemployment extensions were granted under Trump. Do you think he'll do it now to help out the people in the White House that are all going to lose their jobs? Stephen Miller's going to come to him. Look, man, I'm never going to work for anyone again. Is Don Jr. hiring?
I have thoughts about that I want to share here.
I don't know if I should. Allison, aren't you a nurse or something like that? Should I keep it covered? It's been doing fine, just getting some air. And welcome to Kevin's medical dilemmas.
But
here's the thing, Allison, and this is also true. I've never gotten an infection in my life. Internally, yes, but no. Actually, I don't even know if that's true. I've never in my life anything has gotten infected. Never.
Whether you see other movement by other institutional players too, like if there's a kind of domino effect.
Well, I mean, there's a number of people in this administration who would like to be contenders in 2024. And I don't know if they know how to properly position themselves for that. Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, someone who's often talked about a 2024 candidate, the Vice President, just a few examples. And I mean, we don't really know. I mean, should Joe Biden become the next president? What position Donald Trump is going to have in the Republican Party?
Oh my God, Allison apparently tried to bathe Connor when he was 18 months old in boiling water on the stove. Allison, why?
And there's a big sense that he is going to remain the Republican keymaker.
See what's going on. Let's see if we can find some numbers.
The most popular person.
Come on, load up. Sometimes you've seen
That's
this.
enough.
There we
He
go.
needs
Here's
to
some
do
numbers.
better.
Here's John
if the
King.
president's going to catch up, the next batch of votes comes in, he needs a more lopsided advantage. But he's making up ground.
He would need a huge advantage if 65,000 votes are still to be counted in Arizona.
Is that the release? That's huge news,
lopsided
actually.
vote
Absolutely.
for the president in order for Biden to lose that lead.
Right, and so statistically it is unlikely because, as you see, they're roughly splitting the vote right now, and the president would need, quantitatively more than that to do it. However, the trend lines have been in his way, and so, it's sort of a simple posture. What's the harm in counting the votes?
And you made this point several times, John. The president sees Arizona and they're counting and counting and counting. He says, "Great, keep on counting these votes because the lead is diminishing for Biden." In other states where his lead is diminishing, he doesn't like counting
the votes.
No,
Stop the count.
The president has said this himself, so I'm just quoting him essentially back. He essentially says, if I don't win, there's cheating. That's his position on democracy. It's not the way it works.
Not a good position. Arizona right now. Remember, Arizona, 11 electoral votes, and as you point out, Arizona and Nevada alone, just those two states, would put Biden over the top. Let's go to Pennsylvania. right now because Pennsylvania has 20. Pennsylvania alone would put Biden over the top as well.
Right, and this is the flip side. I just told you one reason we're being cautious about Arizona is, Joe Biden begins the day with a 47,000 vote lead. Now it is shrinking. Well, Joe Biden began the day with a modest lead in Pennsylvania, 5,000 votes and change. I think 5,500 it was. Now he's up to 21,705. And if you go way back, Tuesday into Wednesday, the president's lead here was over 500,000 votes. Why? Because they counted people who voted on Election Day first. That was the president's support. They're counting mail-in ballots last, and that has trickled in over the last 24, now 48 hours. And over those hours, Joe Biden has not only caught up to the president, but now passed him. And we went through 3 counties in the last hour. Throughout the day, we've had smattering of votes come in, 2,000 here, 5,000 here, sometimes 10,000 here.
I don't think this is the big
and just about every time there have been 1 or 2
Arizona
occasions
release,
in
though.
these
I don't know
small
why I'm
rural
not getting
counties where
previews.
the president gets a few more votes than Joe Biden, but this.
All right, I got to refresh this then. Let me refresh this thing here so that maybe it will work and I can see what's on each of the channels before I switch to them. Give me a second here. You reboot the YouTube TV. Yeah, I can't wait till the Senate. I thought this would all be done, but no, we're having Senate runoffs.
Throughout the day, and we're still waiting. I believe it's about 100,000 ballots, maybe a little shy of that now because some ballots have come in the last couple hours, still to be counted in Pennsylvania.
It would be very difficult for
Okay,
Trump.
Kernak's back.
Let's say
This is
100,000 ballots
Pennsylvania.
out.
Let's go back.
How's
How's everyone otherwise? By the way, Biden has won. In case you're wondering why the different television stations and news organizations have not called the election, well, it's because there's 100,000 provisional ballots in Pennsylvania, and many of those provisional ballots may be because the president said to people, hey, don't do the mail-in thing. Do not do the mail-in thing. You need to go in and vote again. Find out if they made your if they have your ballot, and vote again. Now, if the ballot hadn't been received or it wasn't in the system yet, and it had been received and hadn't been scanned, well, then the people at the elections polling place would say, well, here, have a provisional ballot. This will cancel out your other ballot, and you'll be good. You'll have voted for sure since you're here anyway. So there's 100,000 of those ballots. Those could be 80% in favor of Trump. We don't know, which would give him a 30,000 vote lead with the provisional ballots, and it could swallow Biden's. But much more likely, well, I don't know. I'm just suppositioning here. They could be split 50-50. Congratulations, David, on being first. We don't know. We just don't know. There are going to be a bunch of Republicans in there. We know that because Trump said, do that. Kevin McCarthy said, do that. Go in and vote in person, even if you received a mail-in ballot. And at the same time, we know that the USPS was not delivering properly, especially in the Philadelphia area. They weren't delivering things on time. So people that had provisional or absentee ballots may have thought, man, I better go in and use my provisional ballot. Here's the thing. All of that, I don't care. Trump has to absolutely come in with overwhelming numbers in the provisional ballots. We still have a number of ballots outstanding in Philadelphia, in Pittsburgh. Those ballots are going to swing so wildly to Biden that any difference in the provisional ballot isn't going to make any difference whatsoever. And I'm calling it right now. This election belongs to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There's a graphic. It's official. Biden has won this election. Congratulations, President Biden. And the first female vice president, the first female of any kind in any sort of power in the White House, Kamala Harris. Congratulations to both of you. This election is over. Let's go right back to counting.
In the mail ballot. So long and short of it is, when you get all of the mail ballots tabulated here in Pennsylvania, and they still have tens of thousands.
And female ballots. Female ballots count too. I don't know, Steve always forgets
Thousands
that.
of these to go. You can expect that this Biden lead, which has been growing. I've been here now, got back from my nap about an hour ago, and it's grown about 10,000 since then.
Wow.
So this will continue to grow. Now, where it lands, wherever.
Wait, did West Virginia did West Virginia? Hold on, let's go back. Let's go to, is this, what happened to it? Here it goes. West Virginia, Mountain Hollow. I gave Mountain Hollow to Biden. Dang nabbit. What are you going to do? Yeah, so 306, that's a landslide. I think that's what is going to come in. That's what I've been calling for days now. Daniel Dale, the fact checker, who's awesome, by the way, he was posting earlier today, and he's like, Trump said that was a landslide, and that's what could happen. It's possible that could happen. I was talking about that yesterday. But anybody with any sense would realize that. But then he quoted a number of things from Trump that he'd said that's the difference. And he did his research on this. He did his work. And he did well.
Wherever it lands exactly, it'll grow by 10.
No, you're going to get a shirt, Lizzie. Rich Mac is going to do all the organization on the shirts, and it's just a matter of time. So anybody who is a contributor above above the $25 mark at kevinleefather.com on Patreon, they get a t-shirt. And we are coming up with Kevin Lee Father t-shirts. We're going to use Chris Wilson's artwork. You're familiar with some of it. Here's one right here. This is Chris Wilson artwork. I'll show you. So stuff like that. We're going to probably just use the standard live stream one that he did, and we'll be coming out with that. And now I have to make that disappear. So that will be happening. I'm asking patience. It's only been since May.
Tens of thousands, I think. The one variable left after that.
We are back. I don't know if the YouTube feed is still working. Give me a second to check on that. Let's see if anybody in the YouTube chat room. YouTube usually gives me a grace period. Yeah. So we are live on another link right now. If you're in the YouTube room, let's see. Did Marcy Grover capture that? Marcy, damn, you're good. Nope, something went wrong. Hold on. Let me see if I can find out where we are. Hold on. If you're just joining us, we're talking about Trump 2020. Troy. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so a bunch of people found the feed. Are we still? No, I can hear myself laughing on that. We got a bot in the house. Trump 2020. Okay, but later in 2020, is that what you're saying? Are we still on the same feed, guys? Or let's see. We came back. Okay, came back. So we're on the same feed. I don't have to check on you guys. I'm tired of checking on you guys. Here's Steve Kornacki. He's going to tell us all the things I just told you.
With them, or they didn't have everything that was included.
Let's go back.
It seems in some Republican counties who got mail-in ballots, but then they showed up at the polls on Election Day, and they either wanted to drop off their ballot or they wanted to just vote. And if they didn't have their mail-in ballot with them, or they didn't have everything that was included in the mail-in ballot with them when they showed up at the polls, they had to cast provisional ballots. So what it means is this pool of provisional ballot voters is larger than we've seen usually, and probably contains more Republican voters who wouldn't normally be casting provisional ballots. So I don't think this pool, there's reason to believe this pool is not going to be as overwhelmingly Democratic as it typically is. But there are also indications when you just look by county at where the provisional ballots are, there are also indications here that there are a lot of Democrats or Democratic-leaning voters, or voters, I should say, from very Democratic-heavy, Democratic-friendly areas who make up a significant chunk of this pool of provisional voters. In other words, what the pool of provisional voters probably looks like is something that is less Democratic and more Republican-leaning than a typical pool of provisional voters, but not nearly as Republican-leaning as Donald Trump would need to overcome the kind of statewide lead that Joe Biden is building with all of the mail-in and absentee votes that continue to be added up.
Actually, it's fine. They don't have to call it. It doesn't matter whether they call it or not. Biden's going to be the president. Whether MSNBC, CNN, Fox, anybody else, AP, he gets to be president. There will be the Electoral College, and they will vote based upon whom got the most votes in their particular state. And that's the way the system works. But it is kind of annoying. I think in terms of the general zeitgeist of the country, of people out there with just filled with anxiety right now. Oh my God, when's it going to be over? How's this going to end? First off, don't talk like that because it'll hurt your throat eventually. So if you know people that talk like this all the time, let them know. Calm down. Have some iced tea. Mix it half and half with bourbon. Chuck is asking, Kevin, if the courts still have not made a judgment by 1:20, will Pelosi become president? No. I don't know that for sure. Nobody knows. Like the fail-safes in the system never were designed for something like this. But the Supreme Court apparently, not apparently, in 2000, it got to about, what, December 12th, something like that. There was a drop dead. They made a final decision. There was a deadline of, we have to do it by now in order for the electors to be sent to the Electoral College, and they did so. They made a decision. I don't know what's going to happen here. Let's jump ahead to real time because I know we lost some time. Let's see where everybody is. Okay, now we've got the preview back.
Stay calm and patient as this vote count plays out, and that is something that we are seeing the campaign lean on.
Hey, here's the thing. Even if judges decide, we can't count any votes after Election Day, even though they were done before Election Day, arrived before Election Day, even if the justices decided, hey, Pennsylvania, you can't count anything else. Therefore, Trump wins Pennsylvania. That's fine because he still doesn't have enough votes to be president. Arizona and Nevada go to Biden. We're done. That's it. Biden's the president. So Trump doesn't have that path. In fact, no, I think just Nevada. Does he get to 2? No, if he gets Nevada and Georgia, he gets to 269 and it's a tie. It's exciting.
Again today, they are very eager for a call.
I tell you what, though, that Anna Kendrick is so versatile.
But they are having to practice patience as the counting continues, as they are still waiting to hear whether they will top officially that 270 electoral votes. Jake?
All right, all that science. Thank you so much. And again, the Democratic officials and Republican officials and campaign officials with whom we and our reporters have all been speaking, especially the Democrats in Pennsylvania and Arizona.
David Mickelson says, I think if the court hasn't made a decision that overturns the results in some way before the deadline, then Biden will be installed as president. I believe that is correct as well. Although the electors have to do the voting. We don't vote. We don't actually have a say in this. Kind of do. But the electors get appointed by the state representatives. One of the things the Republicans are working on right now is they're saying, hey, any state that has a Republican legislature, you need to send the Republican electors, regardless of what the people say, because every state has its own little constitution, and the main constitution, the United States Constitution, they give the power of the elections to the states to decide what to do in terms of how do we elect an executive, a president. So every state has its own stupid set of laws, which is why, as we've learned, the takeaway from this election is there should be a constitutional amendment that the federal government, one department with one set of rules, runs the federal elections. And states can have their own thing. They can come on board, but the rules have to be the same. You can open the absentee ballots 3 weeks in advance to get them ready to be counted, or count them and have them on a secure server like many states do, so that come election night at 8 p.m., what do we got? We got all the stuff from today. We got all the stuff from boop, 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 boop. Okay, here's your winner. Done. Yay. Okay, so David Mickelson is saying, no, you can't just choose your own electors. Is it not true that some states can do that, David? Because I know they each have their own set of laws. And if there isn't something specifically saying that they can't do that, that they can try and do that? But David with Snopes is saying that is incorrect. I have been fact-checked. That's it, folks. Good night.
And Nevada.
Yeah.
About what President Trump wants. What is his latest grievance?
Caitlin.
Well, that's a good question, Jake. Of course, we've heard all day that the president has been pretty angry,
That's awesome. She's had 4 years of covering Trump at the White House. Just listen to the exasperation. In fact, I don't think she was there at the very beginning, but to her, it seemed like 500 years. What we live when we come together for like a half an hour every day, she lives all day, every day.
who is covering the White House for us. And Caitlin, what are you hearing about what President Trump wants? What is his latest grievance?
Well, that's a good question, Jake. Of course, we've heard all day that the president has been pretty angry, pretty frustrated as he's watching these numbers come in, watching Joe Biden edge closer to the presidency. But on what you just said about Arizona, I'm just looking at what I tweeted a few days ago. Trump campaign officials told us on the record they expect to win Arizona by 30,000 votes. Of course, we have seen how that margin has changed there, but the question of whether or not the president is going to get 30,000 votes ahead of Biden is going to raise a lot of questions about the math that the Trump campaign has been doing behind the scenes. So we'll see where that ends up. We're certainly still watching it. But Jake, something else that we are now reporting on tonight is you may have noticed that the paid government spokespeople for the president have all but disappeared from the airwaves since Tuesday, and we are now told that's for a reason, because White House attorneys advised White House spokespeople, these and other government officials, that they should not be going and commenting on the drama that has
in case it goes to court.
Been unfolding surrounding the election because they are concerned it will violate the Hatch Act. Of course, that law that prohibits federal government employees from...
Okay, well, that's a lie. That's not, they have not been worried about the Hatch Act at all.
Engaging in political activities while they're acting in their official capacity, something that the Trump administration has widely dismissed, something they've even mocked at times with people like Kellyanne Conway. But it's interesting because the president likes to have his surrogates on TV defending him, touting his accomplishments, and it's noticeable this week that you have not seen people from the White House. The only people who have done appearances, Kayleigh McEnany did one acting as a Trump 2020 campaign advisor, and then we saw his economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, do another appearance today. But Jake, that is so rare to only have 2 officials go on TV since Tuesday. Typically, we get 2 officials on Fox News every hour, it seems like, at the White House. And now we are told that White House officials have been advised by White House attorneys they should not be going on television and talking about what's going on surrounding the election. So instead, they're relying on the campaign to book officials. They're the ones that you're saying defend the president, and not those paid government spokespeople. Instead, talking about the president, defending his claims, baseless claims about voter fraud on television this week.
It's a curious time to suddenly start caring about the Hatch Act. Caitlin, I want to ask you about something you reported for us last hour, which was President Trump expressed.
It's not the Hatch Act. They just don't want anything used against them if it goes to the Supreme Court. So that's nonsense. I just wanted the important thing right now. So the president's, it's been decided. We don't know it yet. I mean, we do because I told you. I had a graphic. There's a graphic. Okay, so the president's it's been decided. This is much more important right now. These are the coronavirus stats. Look at the daily deaths here. We're ramping up again in terms of deaths. We've hit it and we're going right back up. Hospitalizations, exponential growth. Daily cases, exponential growth. 1,248 deaths yesterday. So yeah, that's new cases. New cases yesterday, according to Greenwich, because this is the world meters. New cases, 132,000 new cases, and we'll probably break that today. That's what's going on here in terms of things that actually matter to us right now. Let's go back to Caitlin.
Frustration that his legal team is somewhat wanting. I heard from a source that Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law and a senior advisor to the president, had told President Trump before the election that the legal team was all taken care of. And that is one of the reasons why President Trump is frustrated, because he was told it had been taken care of, and then he looks up and he sees it's not exactly the Algonquin Roundtable representing him out there when it comes to the legal case. Have you heard anything along those lines?
That's so interesting that a source told you that, because we had actually...
Yeah, the media won't tell you about COVID after November 4th. It's just me. And by the way, all the states are completely open up now. The governors on November 4th, they're like, the election's over. Everybody back to school. So if your kids aren't back to school, they're lying to you. Send them back to school. The schools are open. Trump said so.
heard from a few people that there was frustration with Jared Kushner over the team that they had assembled. That, of course, Jared Kushner is often seen as the de facto chief of staff. Certainly it's not Mark Meadows. He is that, of course, in his official capacity. But everyone knows that it's Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump who are the ones who are the closest advisors to the president in the West Wing, with Jared Kushner often taking a lead when it comes to things related to the campaign and related to the president's re-election effort. And so we had heard there was frustration with Jared Kushner. We hadn't heard that he had told the president they had everything taken care of. But clearly we're seeing how they weren't as well prepared as they thought they were going to be. And we saw this play out with impeachment. Remember, they added attorneys at the last minute because they were worried about what that was going to look like. Alan Dershowitz, Ken Starr, Pam Bondi, that kind of legal crew that came in. And we're seeing a similar situation play out here. But of course, they're not relying on the Republican Senate to keep the president in office this time. They're relying on voters. And it may not have paid off for them with the way we're seeing the numbers play out in places like Pennsylvania.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks so much. So what do you think? I mean, it's got to be frustrating for both President Trump and...
Yeah, just so don't worry. Let's just mute the volume on that. We'll keep it going live, and we'll catch up with it. Here's the COVID exit strategy. You know, that's my favorite site. So red is bad, green is good, burgundy is very, very bad. Uncontrolled spread across the country. Someone asked about where? Illinois. Someone said Illinois. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see. In the last 2 weeks, these numbers are all the last 2 weeks. We are looking at gone from 4,500 new cases a day to 8,100. Positivity rate has gone from 6.3 to 9.9. 9.9 is basically 10. 10 is uncontrolled spread. I'm just making up that metric, but it makes sense to me. Okay, hi Eve, how you doing? Hey Lizzie. Anybody else want to see a state from the? I know you guys are a few seconds behind, especially since we had that difficulty. Iowa is. Chris, do not leave the house, Chris. Iowa positivity rate is 43.2%. You probably have it, Chris. No touching. They went from 1,000 cases a day to 2.3 thousand cases a day. New Jersey, come on, that's Delaware. Show me New Jersey. There it is. Going from 1.23 to 1.8. You guys are holding it down pretty well, actually. You can see the up and down there. The second, I can't show it to you if I move the mouse. Right above me, right there. You've gone from 4.2 to 4.5% positivity. You want it below 5% in order to do anything. That's still uncontrolled spread. And also New Jersey does a ton of testing, so the number's deceiving. Positivity is a nice metric, but if you're not doing enough testing, your positivity rate stays high. So, and if you're doing too much testing, your positivity rate goes lower. Here's the thing, though. There is no such thing as too much testing. Oregon's going to lock down again. Let's see. Oregon's in bad. Why would Oregon at 9.9% positivity rate, why would that be trending poorly instead of uncontrolled spread according to exit strategy? I don't know. California, woohoo, what's up? 3.6%. Washington, 5.2%. And the Iowa governor said yesterday, I trust Iowans to do the right thing. Yeah. That sounds like her. Oh, you need 3 symptoms to get a test now? Arizona. How is Arizona? 12.9%. And people came out in droves to vote. Let's go find some
you can
numbers.
feel
We're still
like
waiting on Arizona here.
Again. Call 1-800-BEACHES and say
how those ballots are going to be counted.
Do you have a sense that there is any legal philosophy behind this, that there is a legal argument that would appeal to some sort of higher court wanting to get involved? Because the cases, depending on where Trump stands from state to state, are totally different. He wants voting to go on and on in Arizona until he makes up ground. He wants it to stop in Pennsylvania, where he sees a lot of the mail-in vote is for Joe Biden, mostly because he maligned the very act of voting by mail for many months. But is there a legal argument here, or is it simply the act that he's trying to stop, that you count these votes?
Yeah, I'm smiling because you used the word legal philosophy. That I have not seen that. What I have seen is a pattern of behavior, and this is exactly how it goes. And we've been dealing with this for months now in Pennsylvania. Typically, it starts with a presidential tweet asserting something. It then gets amplified either by a spokesperson or even in many cases by the White House. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes a lawsuit follows. And then every time what happens is they either lose or the suit is
Let's
dismissed.
go back because apparently there's a funny moment with Josh Shapiro's son here. Let's go. Let's go back. Let's go back because Josh Shapiro is interesting anyway. Let's go back and just watch from the beginning of Josh Shapiro. Thanks for the heads up, Stephanie.
Now, Pennsylvania can accept ballots that were received as late as 5 p.m. today as long as they were postmarked by Election Day. But Republicans and the Trump campaign don't like that. They're trying to have those late ballots thrown out. Today, Pennsylvania Republicans asked the Supreme Court to stop the counting of all those ballots received after Election Day. And just tonight, we got a late-breaking response from the High Court. We want to bring into our conversation Josh Shapiro. He is the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, who's representing the Commonwealth on the other side of this legal dispute. Mr. Shapiro, can you explain to us what you understand the court's position to be on these ballots? And again, this is in a national climate where the post office's delivery was slowed and very much called.
Look at that. So there's a shadow back in this corner here. Someone is standing right there, just going back and forth.
To question. These are ballots that were postmarked by Election Day, which seems like voters holding up their end of the deal. Do you understand what happened today to be the final word, or does this still feel like an open question for you, what happens to these ballots?
Sure. Let me break down what actually happened real quick, Nicole, and I think you laid it out really well. Our Supreme Court ruled here in Pennsylvania that ballots postmarked by Election Day could be received up until Friday today at 5 p.m. 3 separate times this issue went up to the United States Supreme Court, today being the 3rd. And each of those times, the Supreme Court of the United States declined to intervene. Now, what was interesting about the order that just came down a bit ago is Justice Alito directed each of our 67 county boards of elections to follow our Secretary of State's guidance. What was that guidance? The guidance was to actually segregate the ballots and count the ballots. So this attempt by Donald Trump and those aligned with him to get those ballots thrown out and run to the Supreme Court, as they've indicated, clearly that's failed. They've refused to intervene, and ultimately now those ballots are going to be counted.
Do you have a...
It's a setup. He did that on purpose. Sorry, I busted you, kid. He was standing there. You could see his shadow going back and forth. He was waited until Dad started, and he comes in casually. Look at the smile on his face. Yeah, this is totally a break by the kid. He wants to go viral. Go ahead.
Donald Trump and those aligned with him to get those ballots thrown out and run to the Supreme Court, as they've indicated.
Watch. He stages himself. Watch this. I'll show you. Watch the shadow.
Segregate the ballots and count.
See, let's see. I'll make it big for you guys. Watch. Okay. This is the content you guys are here for. Watch this area here. It's his shadow. He stands there, then he starts moving. He walks down the hall and comes around, holding his phone. Watch.
The ballots. So this attempt by Donald Trump and those aligned with him to get those ballots thrown out.
There's his head.
Run to
He's
the
moving.
Supreme Court, as they've indicated.
He walks forward, and look at the look on his face. Oh no! Looks right at the camera. Oh, try not to laugh.
Do you have a sense that there...
Nice try, my friend. Well done. Well played, you. Shadows get you every time.
There is any legal philosophy behind this, that there is a legal
that'll go viral too. I bet you Asen already has it. I'll check
argument
it out.
That would appeal to some sort of higher court wanting to get involved, because the cases, depending on where Trump stands from state to state, are totally different. He wants voting to go on and on in Arizona until he makes up ground. He wants it to stop in Pennsylvania, where he sees a lot of the mail-in vote is for Joe Biden, mostly because he maligned the very act of voting by mail for many months. But is there a legal argument here, or is it simply the act that he's trying to stop, that you count these votes?
Yeah, I'm smiling because you used the word legal philosophy. That I have not seen that. What I have seen is a pattern of behavior, and this is exactly how it goes. And we've been dealing with this for months now in Pennsylvania.
Guys, should I post that and get the kid in trouble? Because this is gonna. Here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna get, and then it's gonna be spread, and people are like, oh, ha ha ha. Should I post it? I mean, do I fact check the kid? He's a kid. He's having fun. And honestly, I really appreciate the fact that he did that. It's hilarious. And he's gonna. I don't know if it was his idea, but the fact that he was able to keep an almost straight face through most of that, respect, my friend, respect. Post it. Let's. Okay, Lizzie, let's watch yours. Lizzie says she sent me something here. Let's watch what Lizzie sent me here. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Okay.
About what we're seeing.
Hold on, I got to bring it over to the other screen. Give me a second here. Oh, I might be able to do it this way. Does this work? Kind of. Let me make it smaller. Give me a second here. We will fix this. Okay, and no, we're not really fixing this at all. Hold on. Give me a second here. This is for Lizzie. This is for Lizzie. Nope. Come on, people. There we go. Okay, and we'll make it smaller here. Give me a second. It's coming. It's coming. Sorry, it takes a while. I know this is boring for you guys on your end, but this is the process. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. Okay, this is the video from Lizzie. Let's watch.
Not the least bit surprised about what we're seeing in New York. And we have to, gear up and be adults about this and do what needs to get done to protect ourselves by doing the things that have been recommended. I am very worried, though, I say as a last point. What do you want?
Whatever you want.
Oh, boy. All right. Oh, boy. So anyway.
Letter will give you the last word after that.
All right. So my last word here is that the undermining of our senior scientists and our public health agencies, the United States was not the least bit surprised.
That was awesome. Okay, so hold on. Let me get rid of this. There we go. And screaming being pulled from the room. Yep. Yeah, kids. What are you going to do, huh? I don't have any kids anymore because they both have driver's licenses. So officially, update on Pennsylvania. Hold on. Let's go to live. Honestly, though, here we go. Let's go back. Let's go back on Connect. Here we go. We're almost there. Really, the content we're all here for is kids photobombing. And Kevin Lee Daughter was just in here. I don't even know if she was on camera or not.
Although the difference in the screen, I'm going to talk to my producer right now because the difference in the screen went down. Can you tell?
Up 27,000. It went up.
Okay, I think they initially entered it wrong in the system because I was about to tell you that Joe Biden's statewide lead had gone up to 27,000. That is where it should be because of what just happened here in Allegheny County. Again, Biden just got 7,300 new votes. Trump got 1,875. So that is a difference of 5,425. Joe Biden, in other words, just increased his lead over Donald Trump by 5,425 votes, meaning it has now moved north of 27,000. Joe Biden now leads in the state of Pennsylvania by more than 27,000 votes.
Which means that the provisional ballots would have to come in at 87% Trump, and that all of the other ballots that still remain that are not provisional ballots would have to cease to exist. That's what that means. This is Biden's. Once again, I'm going to call this race. Wait, you know what? I've got one just for this. I'm going to call this race specifically just with Pennsylvania. That's all he needs. This is what happens if he just wins Pennsylvania and everything outstanding is still outstanding. 273. That's all he needs. 273. He's the president. 270 to win. 270 to win. I will call it again, and you're welcome.
Votes. This new batch from Allegheny County that just came in for Biden. Biden winning 79% of that new release of votes. So again, the story remains consistent. Every time we get new batches of mail-in votes, Biden is adding to his lead. He's padding his lead. And again, right there, I'm just trying to figure out here, you know, Allegheny had 35,000 uncounted mail ballots. They've done 2 updates. No, they still have a ways to go. There should be more vote to come.
Arizona was called on election night. I'll call Arizona. That's fine. No, I do. Wait, who asked that? You're not. Oh, Producer Rich, where have you been? I've called the entire country. Once more, Heavenly Father calls it the entire election. It's going to be officially a landslide, according to Trump's own definition of what a landslide is. I don't know what a landslide. I think I just said landslide. Start again. In 3. I'm Heavenly Father. I'm officially calling this election. Congratulations, Vice President Kamala Harris, the first female in the White House, and Vice President, now President, Joseph R. Biden. There's a graphic, so it's official. There's a graphic, people. Is his middle initial R? I don't even know. I just said that. President-elect, whatever. It's fine. Select, elect, electric. Doesn't matter to me. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's everything for the boy. Let's get a little more information on this, and then we're going to wrap things up.
From Allegheny County, still, we probably have about half of Allegheny County's vote out, if that, right now.
Wait, is this real? Joe's middle name is Robinette? Is that Robinette? It is Joseph R. Biden? I didn't even know I knew that.
So there is more to come from Allegheny County.
Can I ask you a question about this batch, Chief? So I'm so bad at math that I cheat when my third
thank you, everybody. See, this is why you're here.
grader has me
so I learn things.
Help in my math. But it seems like the story here is this constant ratio, 7,300 to 1,800.
Yep.
And then
funny, odd, that Trump was always using Barack Hussein Obama's middle name. Never once Joseph Robinette Biden. Come on. That is some low-picking fruit right there. But I don't know why. Why? I mean, if the standard is to use the middle name of the opponent, why Hussein and not Robinette? Weird, huh? No way we can figure that one out.
if any projection is ever able to be made, it would be when there is an absence of anything that deviates from that ratio. Is that another significant point to this dump?
Yeah, no, it is. And I think this is what makes it, you know, I try to keep this as out of the weeds as possible. But I mean,
that's an important, explain that.
It's just, it's baked in, I think, to anybody watching this now. It's baked in that every time you come to me and I say Allegheny came in with something, or Bucks came in with something, or, you know, Carbon County came in with something, it's going to be far more votes for Biden.
I'm pretty sure Carbon was neutral.
Than it is for Trump. That is basically the case across the board in Pennsylvania. We have now had dozens of these incremental updates, probably hundreds of these incremental updates from different counties around Pennsylvania where they're
it's been 84 years.
Giving you, here's 1,200 more of our mail votes. Here's 2,000 more of our mail votes. And it's just basically constant and basically endless. And that is...
Trump doesn't know his middle name. If Trump knew his middle name, he'd have used it at some point.
Because the overall story is all of the mail votes, vote-by-mail ballots that have now been processed and reported out in Pennsylvania, Biden is winning overall. If you just put him in one pool, he's winning 76% of them.
That's amazing.
So every little update that I'm giving you is from this much bigger pool that overall Biden's winning 76% of. So again, when I tell you We still got a fair number of votes out, despite this update I just gave you. We still got some to come from Allegheny County. We still got some to come from Philadelphia. We still got some to come from a number of other counties around the state. I think, yeah, you can basically assume at this point that Biden's going to win something like 76% of them, maybe more depending on where you are, maybe a little bit less depending on where you are. But that's why I say with such confidence that Biden lead is going to continue to increase. We got, that is an update. That's less than 10,000 votes that we just got added in from that update. And what did it do? Biden's lead over Trump grew by more than 5,000.
Yeah.
I mean, he's winning these things so overwhelmingly.
Right. So call it. I'll call it again. I'll call it without Arizona. I'll just call it with Pennsylvania. Not even Georgia. Doesn't even have to be there. I'll call it with no sound. I'll call it all night long. Here we go. I'll put it on a loop. Here it is. Here it is on a loop. I'm not going to do that. Oh, yeah, I will. It's not really a loop. Biden is your new president-elect. And that's it for me tonight, I think, guys. I might be back later. I've got some stuff to do. And I can do this with my nose. Huh? What about that? Anybody else want to see my burn again? If you want to see my burn, my sick burn, go back to the beginning of the broadcast. It is a great-looking map. Thank you, Rich. I worked long and hard on it. And I took, it was 2 minutes to make the map. That's a sexy joke. Do not encourage me. Kids, it's time for me to go. It's time for you to go and go live your life and get right back to watching Steve Kornacki on your own. Here's some closing credits for you folks. Those have not been updated because I've spent all day doing this. One thing, though, before we go, I do have some footage of the very brief presser that Trump gave earlier tonight at, it was 9 p.m. So it's just about almost an hour ago. If you missed it, he came out in the White House press briefing room, gave made an appearance, and I guess they decided against it. His advisors decided against it. So we have some footage from that, and this is it.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Yeah, you hate this house. Yes, I'll try and be back for Biden's speech. If I'm not back for Biden's speech, I will cover it when I am back for Biden's speech because it's indeterminate as when he's going to speak. I suspect it'll be shortly. I might be gone shortly because I got to go do some netsing. But I'll be back after that. So whenever he speaks, we might watch him. And if I'm not back, we'll watch him after. And we'll see that. I got to go. Why do I have to go? Why is it so important that I leave? Well, I'll tell you what, guys.
Where are you going?
Andy, you do have access. I am your access.
Kevin, thanks for that.